Hi, it's Jennifer Evans with Empowering Wellness Counseling Solutions, and we are all about emotional regulation this week. We've got a great week in store for you, so if you like what I have to say, hit subscribe so that you can keep up to date with us. Every day is a new discussion. An emotional regulation week, we're looking at the different aspects of emotional dysregulation in the family and how invalidating environments in the family and how our sibling interactions, internal family systems kind of create the way we are and how we act or react. Then we're just going to look at other invalidating environments, and there's 7 characteristics or 7 types of invalidating environments. We're going to explore all of those. We're going to look at individuation and individualization. What's the difference and what's the similarities, and how does that help us to get out of these invalidating environments? We're going to look at and understand what codependency is, and then we're going to round out the week with how this all relates, emotional regulation with success. So stay tuned, hit that like button, and here we go. I'm really excited. Hi, it's Jennifer Evans with Empowering Wellness Counseling Solutions, and we are wrapping up Emotional Regulation Week with understanding emotional regulation and success and how it all plays together. So what is emotional regulation? Emotional regulation is really connecting with our thoughts, our feelings, and our beliefs, and being able to understand what is a thought and a feeling and an emotion, and what is a logical, what is logic and what is action oriented, and then combining the two to make a wise decision. And so the first part is emotional intelligence, which is understanding what our emotions are and where they're coming from, and kind of why we act and react the way we do, and why we feel the way that we do. And so understanding the psychology of behavior helps us to build emotional intelligence. And success and emotion come together because when we understand why people do the things that they do, then it's easier to connect with them and have these interpersonal connections to understand what their motives are, what their capacity is, and how to engage within that for their limits and for what they really are thriving and being able to be highly capable of providing for us. So where are the allies, and where are the assets, and where are the liabilities when it comes to interactions? And especially during times of stress, where are our assets, where are our liabilities? And we can build mental resilience in order to optimize on high stress events. And we talked about that last week, and we actually talked about it a couple of days ago on how to stay present and build mental resilience. And that requires us to be grounded and mindful in the here and now. And it requires us to have some self-awareness of why we're doing the things we're doing, what are our triggers, and then how do we ground out of them. And if we want to look at resiliency on a daily kind of platform, then what we want to do is build a framework for success. And what that looks like is building some atomic habits, looking at how to intertwine, entangle mindfulness throughout the day, doing check-ins on, okay, self-awareness check-ins, okay, wow, like, today was really rough. Like, it was a hard, it was a hard case. It's a fourth quarter. Like, we're finding our acceptance and what we've done well and where we want to improve later. And we're creating those pivots on the regular, incorporated in our day. And then what we're doing is we're finding how we can see this in the day-to-day. And so emotional intelligence, I do have a client who has some spectrum qualities. And so we really were working on just understanding kind of the algorithms of friendships. and how to really engage with people. And so breaking things down to a scientific level, to a level of, what is our equation for friendship? What is our equation for success? Allowed us to find what the important integers were and what the variables were to be considered. And what that allowed us to do is be able to break things down into pieces of what is valued to us and what the weight of the consequences are for those decisions. And so creating this algorithm allowed this person who really couldn't pick up on a lot of emotional signs and cues to be able to find other ways to connect with somebody. So although they were very brilliant, they felt like they were lacking in their social repertoire. And being able to work together to have this algorithm, they were able to better understand kind of why people acted the way they do. So what emotion would come connected to that. And that would allow them to place those variables where they were at to come up with an appropriate response. And when they were able to have that appropriate response, the dynamic between the relationships, the trust and vulnerability that came between people just flourished. And that person went from kind of a research scientist being kind of stuck in a lab to then becoming a CEO, being able to run and own their own lab because they were able to break the algorithm of emotional intelligence. So there's some really great advanced techniques. I do recommend that you go into the video description and click on my free 15-minute wellness insight. What that will give you is a time to talk to me personally, to hear what your story is, to give you some insight on what is happening and why your brain is doing what it is, and then for us to come together to build a plan. I am Jennifer Evans with Empowering Wellness Counseling Solutions. Thank you so much.